So if you guys remember a couple months back, we did some really weird team setups and team pairings of players in franchise modes to see if either a player would be able to succeed or the team would be able to succeed, or if players can carry other players as well. There's a ton of those videos on my channel, so make sure you guys go down below, subscribe, and check them out if you haven't done so already. But today we're going to go diving back into those type of videos, this time focusing in on the defensemen. We're going to take the 3 best defensemen in NHL 18 by ratings, which would be Erik Karlsson, Drew Doughty, and Victor Hedman. We're going to build a squad around those guys. However, each of those 3 best NHL defensemen, well, their D partners are going to be the 3 worst overall players in NHL 18. So can a team with the 3 best defensemen and the 3 worst defensemen in NHL 18 be able to make it to the playoffs and maybe even win a Stanley Cup? Let's find out. Hey guys, what's going on today? Bojo here. Welcome back to another team scenario setup here in NHL 18 franchise mode, where today, as I mentioned, we're going to be testing out if the 3 best defensemen in NHL 18 will be able to carry the 3 worst defensemen in NHL 18. Going to build a team around those guys, and we'll see if that team will be able to make it to the playoffs. Also, make sure to go check out the last video that we did, which was our experiment with Rasmus Dahlin joining the Buffalo Sabres to see if they would be able to make the playoffs. And don't worry, I saw your guys' comments. The one with Svechnikov is hopefully coming out very, very soon as well, so stay tuned. But first off, we need a team to substitute for our created team with the 3 best and 3 worst defensemen in the game. So, you know what? For this experiment, we're just going to randomize a team. I'll close my eyes for whatever reason. I don't think it's going to matter. But let's see which team we are going to substitute. And I feel like stopping right about here. And Arizona, okay, that kind of works. Usually we substitute them out sometimes, so you know what? They'll get substituted out, the good old Burnaby Aces, because I'm too lazy to create an actual team name, and we're going to substitute those guys in. Alright, so let's start off with this team on the defense. As I mentioned, the 3 best defensemen in this game, Drew Doughty, Erik Karlsson, and Victor Hedman, are each going to be getting their very own lackluster defensive partner. So, Drew Doughty is going to be paired with Simon Eriksson, a 2-way defender, 44 overall, medium AHL top 2 potential, 19 years old. Those stats, very, very nice. 1.5 stars for shooting and skating, but everything else is a half a star. Erik Karlsson's defense partner is going to be Nolan Orszak, 2-way defender, medium potential for a top 4 defender, so 16 years old, 44 overall. He's a CHL player, so he was added, I think, in either the last roster update or the previous roster update, since he's a 16-year-old. Same thing, shooting and skating, 1.5 stars, everything else is a half a star, but that top 4 medium potential does have a chance to grow throughout the year, so wouldn't be surprised to see if this guy grows in overall, especially working with Erik Karlsson. And then Victor Hedman is going to be paired with Joel Krusen, 26 years old. He's a player in the Dell League, I think, either in the Liga or the Dell League, one of those ones. We've used him before on a previous team build, 45 overall, 26 AHL other defenseman, 2-way defender. He's got 2 stars in his skating, 1 star in his physical, everything else is only a half a star. So, those are the 3 weakest and lowest overall defensemen in the game, but hopefully the 44 and 45 overalls paired with a 90 and 92 might be able to balance these guys out. So, I mean, realistically, I mean, what are we looking at here? What's the average between the two? Like high 60s, mid 70s kind of range. So, I mean, it's a decent decor. I mean, those guys are definitely going to have to put up the numbers for sure. So, hopefully they will be able to get it done. Now, as far as the rest of the lineup goes, I have done this before in previous builds where we're focusing either on one position or one line specifically. How I build the rest of the team is basically I do first line players, second line players, third line, fourth line players, etc., etc. And I always just kind of keep the same basic setup. Playmaker, 2-way forward, sniper on lines number 1 and 2, and then lines 3 and 4 either just fill with 2-way forwards, grinders, power forwards, etc. So our lines are going to be Taylor Hall, Jack Eichel, and Brad Marchand on line number 1, Kyle Palmieri, Henrik Zetterberg, and Alexander Radulov on line number 2, Jonas Donskoy, Tyler Bozak, Clark MacArthur, line number 3, Joel Armia, Brandon Sutter, and Alex Tuck on line number 4. Once again, you guys have free range if you want to try this experiment out for yourselves. Any combination of players will do, so have fun with it. Whatever players you feel like playing there, as long as, you know, they fit the role of like third line or second line players, whatever the case. You know, they'll fit the line overall. Most of these guys in like their low 70s, third overalls, but like I said, having 40 overall defensemen, I think we're gonna need a little bit extra help on defense, so that's why I went with them. And that's where the goaltenders go, just like a middle of the range goaltender with a decent backup. So I gave them 86 overall Mike Smith as a starting goaltender and 82 overall Michael Neuwirth as a backup. So that's the goalies they're going to be running with on this team. Alright, and now as far as special teams go, I'm assuming that Hedman, Karlsson, and Doughty should be playing all the power play and penalty kill lines. There's only just going to be one odd 40 overall player that is going to be on the penalty kill, so hopefully he's not too much of a hindrance for this club, but I hopefully think that this team might be able to get the job done. Hopefully just 3 40 overall players on defense paired with 90 overalls might be able, like I said, to balance it out. And I still think this team might have a chance to succeed here in the Pacific Division. Gonna be tough, but we shall see. Alright, so without further ado, let's start our simulation. We'll go to the halfway point, so 42 games in, and I'll show you guys how the team is doing. Okay guys, so we have made it to the halfway point with our team, and they're not doing too bad. Sitting at a record of 22, 15, and 5 as we look at the standings there in the Pacific Division. That is good enough for third place currently in the Pacific Division. However, the San Jose Sharks do have 38 games played only, so we have 4 games in hand on the San Jose Sharks, but hopefully those 49 points should still be able to keep us in a wild card spot. If we look at the Central Division, yeah, the wild card spot is being held at 44 points by the Minnesota Wild, and they only have 41 games played, and we have 49 points. So we're sitting pretty right now in a wild card spot. We're also third in the division, but probably will be passed by San Jose at some point. Team is playing very well. All right, so let's take a look at our team's point totals so far. I'm just going to browse through the forwards for you guys really quick. You can take note of who has what points there. We really don't honestly care about the forwards, how many points they're getting so far. All you have to know is Marchand, Eichel, and Taylor Hall all have around like 30 points so far in 42 games played, which is nice. Let's take a look at the defenders and see if they are getting it done. And as expected, the 40 overall players are not getting it done, but the other 3 studs are definitely stepping up to the plate. Drew Doughty, 28 points, Erik Karlsson, 24 points, and Victor Hedman, 19 points. All 3 of them are negative players. The only one who is a positive player is Joel Kusin, the 45 overall guy who is paired with, who's he paired with? I think he's paired with Hedman. He's the only plus player on that defensive core. Eriksson has 1 assist. Kusin has 1 assist. Orzek does not have any points so far. And the plus minuses are a little bit, you know, they're close to even. It's not double-digit minuses, which, you know, it's easily handleable. Still, they're holding it down. The team is over 500 in 3rd place in the division, and you know what? They are indeed getting it done, and the 3 studs on defense are literally holding this defensive core together. And here's the goalie stats for you guys real quickly, once again, if you wanted to check them out. 2.2 goals against average for Neuwirth and 12 games played. Not bad. I also thought I would just be quickly look at our total team stats so far as well. Goals against would be very, very interesting to look at. Goals against average is 2.71. That's kind of expected. When we're winning games, they're very close, and they're also in like a lot of overtime and shootout wins. But if we lose games, we are getting blown out. Like, there's some very high scoring games when we're losing them. Power play percentage is at a 20%, so that's not terrible for the squad. Penalty kill is also at an 82.5%, which is not bad either. I mean, it's a little bit rough, but I mean, it's middle of our division, so it should be roughly middle of the NHL as well. So not bad for the team on special teams either. Okay, so with that, we have made it through the halfway point of this season. Let's finish up the other half, and let's see if this squad can hold on to the record they have right now, and maybe there could be some playoffs for this team in the future. Let's see. Well, we have finished the regular season, guys, and in a very shocking turn of events, the team ended up missing the playoffs. They finished 37, 37, and 8, so 82 points in 82 games, an average of 1 point per game. And they ended up missing the playoffs. A very, very shocking turn of events. If I had to guess anything as to why they struggled so much at the back half after the trade deadline, I feel as though after the trade deadline is when the poise characteristic of players really starts to kick in. They started to lose a couple games here and there, but it was still pretty consistent for wins here. But I mean, this is where the losing streak just like really took off after the trade deadline. I think they lost a bunch of games in a row. Yeah, look at this huge losing streak they had right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a win right there, but 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 losses pretty much on the back half of the trade deadline, which is not what you want to see with this team at all. And surprisingly, they ended up missing the playoffs, so they're not going to be getting any playoff action. All right, so there's the forward point totals, and as you guys can see, even I think those 40 overall defensemen might have had a profound effect on the forwards getting points. Nobody passed 60 points on the forward core, even though, once again, I feel like I didn't stack it all too crazy. The first line was plus players. Paul got 50, Eichel got 57, and Marchand got 59. Like I said, I don't think I stacked those top lines or the entire team all too much, and they really just did not perform. But there's everybody else's point totals, as you guys can see right there. We'll take a look at the defense now. And Drew Doughty, Erik Karlsson, and Victor Hedman did everything in their power to try to save these guys, but it was not looking good. Remember when Karlsson was the only positive defenseman? Yeah, that took a turn for the worst. Minus 30, minus 16, and minus 7 for our 40 overall players. But Drew Doughty did everything he could. 60 points on the year for him, which is crazy. Erik Karlsson put up 51. Victor Hedman put up 36. Eriksson did get a goal, so the 45 overall player actually ended up getting a goal. So he might be on a Mikko Laine territory right there, so not bad for him. Karlsson got one assist, and Orshek unfortunately did not get any points for the team. There's the plus minuses, as you can see, the penalty minutes, power play goals. Wow, that's pretty disappointing that this team unfortunately missed the playoffs. There's a goaltender stats. Smith didn't really play all too well either. His stats really got inflated. Same thing with Neuvirth. And yeah, like I said, I really do think that poise factor definitely is a key stat, especially on the second half of a simulation here in franchise mode. If the team and players do not have good poise stats, I don't know, I really think it makes a huge difference in whether your team may win or lose a game in franchise mode, especially when the games are very, very important. It'd be very interesting to see if I stacked this lineup with like McDavid's and Crosby's and Ovechkin's and still kept the defense the same. Maybe they still might be able to win games, who knows. I really think though that these guys bring down not only their defensive teammates, but they honestly bring down the starting lineups as well as the goaltenders, affecting all of their stats. It's just not the defensive partners that are going to have the struggles. The defensive partners honestly didn't even have the struggles. Drew Doughty had 60 points on the year, so honestly, this guy I don't think was dragging him down all too much. Doughty had a phenomenal year, but I feel as though the defensemen and their good stats have a good effect on how the offense performs, so unfortunately, the team will not get playoff action, and it doesn't look like the 3 best defensemen in NHL 18 can help carry the 3 worst defensemen in NHL 18. And just in case you guys were wondering, in the comparison for poise stats, Doughty has poise of 90, his defensive partner 65. Karlsson 95, 65, 63, 85. So I mean, there's your tail of the tape right there. Just those low poise stats and just all around low stats as an overall. I really think that contributed to the downfall of this team. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Like I said, leave some comments for some other team setups that you guys would like me to try here in franchise mode. We're going to get back into doing that. So it should have some more Hockey Ultimate Team videos out on the way as well. Should have like a pack opening out soon. We're still running with the Stanley Cup playoffs, so there's still going to be lots of content to keep you guys occupied over the next couple of months. I'll see you guys next time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe as always. I'll see you guys later. Peace.